for another stream. And no, it's not dropping frames. Okay. There we go. Adjust my mic a little bit. Okay, so now I had a request from a viewer of mine a couple days ago, and he wanted to know how to highlight a video. He wants to create clips for his YouTube channel, and he wants to know how to highlight the videos with like an icy edge. So we're gonna grab the source, all the where did he send it? Right, my drive. I'm gonna grab the source footage that he sent, that I'm gonna be using as a template, and then I'll be going through and creating like animated frozen outlines on everything. Okay, so let's see which folder is it in. Okay, let's jump into here. Okay, so let's download this. Download. All right, downloaded. My donate button isn't actually up just yet. I'm still trying to get everything all set up, and I haven't got it linked yet. So, but I mean, if you want, I can give you the email address if you want to. That'd be great. Okay, so we got all the files downloaded. I guess I'll switch over to screen share. All right, so we're gonna take the files here. Where'd they go? Yeah, they're in here. So show in folder. I can minimize that. I just realized my GoXLR isn't putting music out to stream, which I'm not exactly sure why. Music, it says it should be, which is bizarre. One moment. There we go. For whatever bizarre reason, I had it hidden in OBS. All right, so we're gonna take the file that has the sample footage. I'm just gonna extract it. I don't know if this has to be good footage. It's just, you know. Oh, nope, wrong folder. This is just example footage, because this will have to be, this is something that whoever, if anyone ever wants to do this, it'll have to be on a per video basis. It's not like you'd be able to make templates for it. Well, you'd be able to make templates for the HUD, but you wouldn't be able to make templates for like your weapon or, you know, the little guy way off in the distance. So, okay, there we go. That's why it wasn't working. Okay, so the footage is dropped in now. So I'll take this piece. Actually, I'm going to drop all three of them in at the same time and scale them. Get them to be just the right size. Complete full screen. Okay, so I'm gonna use the first. I'll put these into folders. So new Right, that's layers. So this would have to be as a pre-comp. So I want to find where the shot is that he takes. It's guessing it's gonna be right at the end here. Okay, we gotta extend the composition length. Composition settings. Let's set it to 30 seconds. Okay, now I'll zoom out. And okay, so where is this kill? Okay, so he gets set on fire. We'll trim this footage down to actually get it like cropped out, you know. I'm guessing he probably makes... I don't know enough about the game that he's playing either, which is a problem. So I don't actually know what he... Oh, that's it right there. Okay, so let's see. Where can we cut this? That'll get a good clip out of it. Go from here. Okay, so we'll go from right about here. Okay, so I'm gonna do shift, or no, alt left square bracket, and that trims the video. Slide this all the way back to the start. And okay, so let's see. He turns around, whips out the gun, and then okay, so if I want to highlight the gun, that's gonna make this that means frame by frame we're gonna have to track that gun. And that's gonna take a bit to do. So I'm gonna what's vibrating? Okay, just also search edge then. Yeah, okay, find edges. There we go. Okay, so now let's see, blend with original. No. Okay, there we go. So I've inverted it. Bevel edges, crop edges. Okay, so I'm just gonna use that then. And now now masking on this would be a lot easier. But yeah, you can see here, like it can't tell this from this. There's just not even an edge there. So so having any hope of the game actually, or of the program actually detecting the difference in surfaces would be, you know, you'd be really hard pressed for it to do that. Okay, so I'm gonna with this. Okay, we'll go into screen. So now it outlines everything, and I'm going to do a mask. Let's see, ellipse tool. And right when the guy pops out, we're gonna set up a mask. And then go into mask and set the no, not transparency. Where's transform position? Okay, so right there is where the guy pops out. So the mask starts there, and then now we're gonna track this mask along the guy. Oh. Okay, so he goes there. So position. Can I just drag this goddamn mask? Jesus Christ. I really wish just something as simple as dragging a bloody mask was a lot simpler. There we go. Okay, and scale. Nope. Okay, mask. Oh, I got the wrong position is selected. So mask. Okay, so I need mask transform because, like an idiot, I went and selected the options for the entire layer. Okay, so mask expansion, it's gonna start at 0. And then I guess maybe I'll track the path on it. Maybe that'll do the trick. Yeah, bring it to there, and then expand it to here. I'll set the feather to like 25 pixels. Oh God. Oh, for Christ's sake. So it's actually showing me the edge detection of the mask itself. Okay, so I need to copy the mask, delete it, and then convert this to a pre-comp. And then paste. Nope, that still doesn't make a difference. Okay, so does this... No, it doesn't count the mask as being in the actual... as being part of the actual composition. Okay, so I'm just gonna have to find a way to feather that out. Okay, so as the guy pops around the corner, and now for some reason it's not showing me. Oh Christ, that's why. Okay, so I want to track the path and I want to track expansion. So as the guy comes around the corner, we're going to go from no mask expansion. He moves forward a bit. Track the mask over to him. And fully expand the mask. Okay, so he moves a lot right here. So realign the path and expand that mask further. And then from right there to there, it pans over and he dies. And then he explodes and tracks off screen. So I'm gonna have the mask track off screen with him. Right there. And shrink the mask right out. Okay, actually I gotta realign the path. Okay, so right here we'll keep the path on him. Okay, expansion was 71 pixels, so we'll just go 70. And then it tracks off screen with him. Okay, so now, so that highlights them. From that, now I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna create a new shape layer. Oh, that's mask layer. Okay, I'm gonna create a new shape layer. And this doesn't need to have a stroke. But we're gonna fill it with like this kind of an icy blue color. And we're gonna put that underneath the edge detect composition and set it to alpha. Okay, it's gonna use the mask as the alpha matte. And okay, actually no, it's gonna have to go on top and then probably inside the composition. Okay, so paste on top and then where would it be? Screen. And then on this layer, we go into layer. Okay. Contrast and saturation. We're going to get rid of all of the saturation entirely. Okay, so let's hide the top layer. Second layer, second source, input. Oh, this is not at all what I wanted to put. Hue and, there it is. I put the wrong layer. My mistake. So master saturation, crank it to 0. Master lightness is going to come up. And okay, contrast. Contrast luminance. Why'd that bring the color back? I don't know. Oh, what? Okay, I just screwed up with the saturation, that's all. Okay, so normal. Great. Okay, that's a problem. And now we've lost all of our edge detection. Did I get rid of it by accident? Curves, auto contrast. I guess I did. Find edges. Never mind. I don't know what I did that made it blue, but, or that made it red, but I like it. Not the intended result. Oh, it's because it's on screen. That's why. Okay, so I'd have to take this as a pre-comp. What if I turn this off? Now I switch back to the first layer. Yeah, so it does that. Got this? Wow. That's weird. All the background information like that? Okay, so hue and saturation, find edges. Hue and saturation, put that on. Huh, it actually finds them better that way. Okay, so I'm gonna leave this on, and then I'm gonna take this and pre-compose this layer. We'll go back to the... Ah, for Christ's sake. I was really hoping that was going to solve the problem. Okay, I'll go back to normal and multiply. No, where is it? Lighten. Yeah, lighten. Okay. That's so weird how it's inverted. I really don't understand it. I am completely lost with that. I want to get this image. And so help me to God, I swear, if I have to freaking render this out just to do this, I'm going to be so frustrated. Okay, so I'll try copying this, paste. Great, now it works just fine. Okay, so 140%. Center it. Of course it doesn't line up. Drag it all the way to the end. There we go. Okay, so now... So now that we've got this pre-comp layer that's actually working as it's supposed to, I'm going to set it as an overlay. No, okay. Color. Yeah, okay, color. And I think I accidentally deleted the mask layer. That's annoying. Great, so I get to remask everything. Okay, so right there. Okay, so we start creating our mask. I'm gonna set the, where is it? Okay, so mask expansion starts at nothing. Mask path, I'm gonna track it, and mask feather, I'm gonna set to like 50 pixels. Or no, make it like 150 pixels. And then as the guy comes out, right from there to there, I'm gonna take the path, move it over, and expand it to fully encompass him. It continues tracking right, okay, from, okay, right there. Track the mask to him. Expand it a bit more. And repeat. A lot of jerkiness in this footage, which definitely makes this a lot harder. Okay, and that's where he goes off screen. Let's come down here. And expansion, have it start shrinking. And by a couple frames later, have the path go completely off screen and just crank the expansion all the way down. Okay, so now if I trim this down to just that little bit of a clip and render out a preview. Ooh, loud. Okay. So I'm now going to apply a glow modifier Glow threshold. Set it to 100%. The glow radius to 15. Glow intensity to 2. Use the on top compositing mode. And set the glow operation to either screen or lighten. Either will work. And it's not actually doing anything here. Okay, so I'm probably gonna have to actually apply this directly to the layer itself. Okay, no, that's not doing anything either. Okay, let's try dimension, glow, and shadow. I'm guessing part of the problem with this is the fact that as far as the computer is concerned, there's still white there. It's not transparent. So I'm guessing it'd probably be easiest if I actually rendered this out. So if I come back to this layer and I turn off the visibility of it, I'm thinking, what if I render out just this section, right? And then key out the white. I'll try keying out the white first, just on its own. Okay, color key, white. Color tolerance. Nope. Edge thin, that's way too much. Edge feather, 2 pixels. Okay, 1 pixel. Yeah, that works pretty good. Okay, so just like that. Now let's see if glow will work. Yep, now glow does work. So we'll set glow above it. We're gonna give the glow threshold 100%. Oh wait, no, yeah, right, we do want it below it. Yep, yeah, it's gonna be a VOD, so you can catch up on this. And honestly, it's been a lot of trial and error with the start. I've been struggling to figure out what exactly to do, but you'll basically from this point on, you can figure it out. So essentially, here's what I've done. I'll catch you up on it. So I've taken the original footage and I've duplicated it. So you can see here's the original footage, and I've applied find edges to it and a hue and saturation. And I'm aiming to get this where all the edges are blue. And the blue comes from the shape layer here. So I desaturate the image and pump up the contrast, and then create a shape layer over top that has blue. By doing that, it's set to lighten. So by doing that, it turns all the black areas blue. Then when I go to the, then I turn that into a pre-composition and I apply a mask. That mask is then tracked, and using expansion, I think you'll see it down here. I've got the mask path, feather, and expansion are all keyframed. So I just went to like here. I saw that's where it starts to poke out. So I have the feathering already set, and then the The expansion is keyframed to like to be way negative, which eliminates the mask entirely. So essentially I'm just tracking the circle to the center of mask. And then the mask path, being the whole circle, is just keyframe tracked to stay around him. So as he moves, the mask is following him as best as possible. Then after that, I've applied this glow layer, which you can see is making him much more vibrant. So I've set the glow threshold to 100. The glow radius, I'm going to set to 25. Glow intensity to 1.5. And I'm going to set it to on top. Wait. Oh, right. Never mind. Because of the blend mode, you want to keep it up behind. Glow operation is going to be screen. And the color loops, I'm just going to leave as is. Oh, and on this composition, I'm using a color key to eliminate all the white, which is why this glow effect will work, because now it recognizes that there's lines here and alpha space. So this gives this effect of like him being outlined with the glow effect. I'm now going to go into thing here and create, what is it? Lens. No, CC force motion blur. Okay, so now I'm going to apply a force motion blur to this. I'm going to set the shutter angle to around 2500. Okay, no, way too much. 250. Yeah, okay, so set it to like 250. You can set the, for something like this, you can set the samples to like even just as low as 3. And then, if I can find it here, I think it's the CC glass function, but I'm not sure how that's going to affect it with, yeah, you'll get the hang of it. I mean, like if you go back to the VOD and you rewatch it a few times, you'll see like the process that I use. So with this glass one, I'm not sure how well this is gonna work because, yeah, so never mind. Don't use the glass one. Okay, so to make him look frosty, how to do that? I just realized there's a cartoon. Yeah, you could actually use the cartoon effect. Yep, it would outline the gun as well. Though the best way to outline stuff would be using a mask, right? And actually hand masking everything, but that's way more effort than is worth it. But you can see here, like, this is just centered around the guy. If I wanted to mask the gun, I would just like do something like here, I'll just show you with a mask. So let's say I wanted to mask the gun, right? I would just create a mask like this kind of a shape. And there's a mask. And then this mask would be, I would go into mask expansion. I'd expand it a little bit. And set the feather. Where's feather? Mask feather to like anywhere between 50 and 150. Yeah, for this 50 works pretty good. So this gives you an idea, like so now the gun is highlighted. And then you just have to keyframe track your mask expansion, contraction, and like where it is, right? So if I wanted to have the gun highlighted, I'm gonna set this actually to half resolution. So now if I want to back this up, so here, I'm gonna collapse the first mask. So I'm gonna keyframe animate mask path and mask expansion. So now I'm gonna go back a few frames. And you can see it like once the gun's up and you're running around with it, it's pretty much good there. So I'm gonna back this up all the way to the point where like he's reloading the gun. Okay, so right about here, I'm gonna create a new keyframe for I'm gonna create a new keyframe for the path. So that way I'm not stretching it out over that whole time that I just backed it up. And then from here to here, it changes. So I'm going to click path, go to the pen tool, and, oh, come on. Okay, mask path. Okay, no, you want the gun actually probably requires more work, which is the funny part because of reload animations and such. So once you've got like the gun, you know, where it usually sits tracked in, now I've set this keyframe right where he starts to reload, right? So I'll click on path. I'm going to take the pen or the select tool, click and drag it around one of my points. And now I can select the mask, and I'm just going to quickly drag the mask around to fully encompass the gun. And in this case, I'm going to bring the mask feather to 25 pixels and the expansion to 0. Let's see where that sits. Yeah, pretty much perfect. So now it tracks forward. Okay, so actually I'm going to mask expansion here is too much. I'm going to set it for like 35, and the feathering I'll keep where it is. So now you can see the weapon has this blue outline around it that basically stays there. So I'll go to right. Okay, that's where the last frame is. We'll go to here. I'm gonna go to path, and same thing again. Just click and drag the points to give a rough encompassment of the weapon. Like that, and then go back a few more frames. The reload animations and stuff, you're gonna always have to do them. You're pretty much always gonna have to do them like by hand like this. Or one thing you could do is if you really wanted to, you could create like really tight masks that are like really close to the edge of the gun. And specifically make like a save file for an animation. You know what I mean? So like you could render out a version where like you've got the gun, like all the outline and everything, or it wouldn't be a save file of the animation. It would be a save file of like the settings and stuff used, like a project file, After Effects project file. But you could use this. Hey Vadi, what's up? But yeah, so if you really wanted to do this, you could, what was it saying? Right, so like you could very tightly track this to the whole weapon and then save that, where it's specifically just the reloading animation. And then when you're creating a clip and, you know, you go and reload your weapon, you could go into like a folder of saved animations and import the .aep file, which would have all of the tracking done for that weapon. So then that's a way that you could get a much tighter track where you don't have it spilling onto environment pieces like this. But unless you want to go creating hand keyframed, hand animated masks for each weapon, this is definitely a much faster technique. Otherwise, you'd have to do everything, you'd have to do every weapon in the game otherwise. Which if you play one game, if you're mostly focusing on one game, I suppose that could definitely be effective. But I wouldn't want to do it for myself because I play a lot more than just one game. So now you can see the gun pops up and you can see how the mask is deforming to match the weapon. And then the guy pops out and the shots taken. And actually right here, the gun to spears. So the mask, I'm going to take this mask and I'm going to drag all the points off the screen. And I can actually make this mask a little better. So I'll select path and I'm just going to drag this over here. So there's a better track now. Okay, so I'll just play this a little bit here. Yeah, so that's looking pretty good. And like, this is only like, this is definitely the most labor intensive part of it because it's relying on edge detection and all this other stuff. The rest of the trick is really going to be when it comes to doing like smoke effects or whatever else you want. So now I'm gonna, with this part, I'm pretty much happy with the way this looks. I'd like to see this be a little bit whiter. So I'm gonna copy this and paste it again. And I'm gonna set a, okay, I'm gonna go into color, if I can find it in here, or channel. Okay, what about hue and saturation? Oh, wait, there we go. Colorize. Huh, let's just try gold dip just for the fun of it. You. I'm glad you're enjoying it. Yeah, honestly the whole tracking stuff, it's definitely the part that takes the most time to learn, but once you get it, it goes really fast. Colorize sunset gradient, colorize blue wash. Okay, so instead I'm gonna set it to hue. Wait, saturation. Hue and saturation. Okay, let's see. Master saturation, master lightness. That had the opposite effect of what I wanted. Okay, so instead I'm gonna set colorize, colorize saturation, colorize lightness. Oh, it's because I have this set to color, that's why. Okay, screen, there we go. Ooh, boy. Okay, never mind, not screen. Let's see, vivid light? No. Luminosity. Just overlay, maybe? I feel like addition might just be the best. Yeah, you know what? We'll just do addition. I'm going to get rid of the hue and saturation. Just set this to add. And then set the opacity to about 25%. Okay, maybe 35%. And I'm going to go to blur. Okay, so blur and sharpen. Let's see, there's vector blur, channel blur, radio blur, smart blur, sharpen, fast box blur. Let's give it a try with cross blur. Okay, 5 pixels by 5 pixels. There we go. That tracks in all right. Okay, so now that I've got that done, I'm going to right here, I'm going to add some motion graphics in. where, let's see. Okay, I'm gonna create a new layer where it's gonna be an eclipse. Get rid of the fill. Set stroke and 3 pixels. No, maybe a bit more. 5 pixels. And let's see, put 4 lines here. 1, 2. And there's definitely better ways to do this. I mean, for like, I'm thinking like have an aiming reticle that tightens down on the guy. And in this case, I wouldn't do it this way. I would actually just have an aiming reticle. In fact, you know what? Because of that, let's do this the right way. I mean, I'm sure, and also don't think this is the best that the outlines can look. You can definitely do way better than this if you know, spend the time to make even just a slightly tighter mask instead of just a circle around this guy. If you have a slightly tighter mask and just keyframe like every 5 to 10 frames, you can make this look way better. Okay, so we're gonna save this just in case, you know, I run out of memory. Okay, Barracuda, editing drive, commission work, frosty, highlight, dash example. Save. Okay, so I'm gonna minimize this. Just in case, you know, my computer runs out of memory. I don't want it to, I don't want to lose everything. Keyframing on After Effects is really simple. Like, it's super straightforward. So, I'll show you when I get back to it how, because you'll see it with, I'm going to create this aiming reticle, and you'll see what I need to do in order to keyframe it. Okay, so 512 by 512. And just to make my life easy, aiming reticle. I'm gonna go with this one. Copy, paste, select by color, invert, and layer scale. 512 by 512. Neat. I'm going to now invert the layer. And actually, I don't want it to be 512. I want it to be 500. Or 480 maybe. Yeah. Image, canvas size. No, where is it? Image, yeah, fit canvas layers. Wait, no. Hold on. Layer, transform. Can't remember how to center a damn layer. I know there was a really quick trick to it that I used to know here. Well, I'll just do this. Okay, so it's roughly centered. Okay, layer to image size. I'm now gonna go to drop shadow. 0, 25, 1.5, color, blue. Yeah, once is good enough. So export this, put it the same spot, Barracuda, editing drive, and commission work. Reticle. See, so if you're gonna be doing like this is the way I would suggest it is, Well, let me know. Like, is it mostly one game that you would be doing highlights for, or would it be a whole bunch of different games? Okay, so it's just Valorant. It's just Valorant clips then. Just Valorant. Okay, so in that case, I would definitely say, um, how many weapons are in Valorant? I've never played it, so I have no idea. Like roughly like 20 or something. Um, oh, okay, so I guess you don't play it a ton either. What I would recommend is if you're going to be doing Valorant clips, I would say, and it would produce a much better result than this edge detect. I can't actually remember. Isn't Valorant like kind of like animated looking? Valorant gameplay. Oh, not really, I guess. Well, yeah, it kind of is. It's got like kind of like a hand painted texture kind of feel to it. Yeah, okay, so it's got something like that going on. Okay, so what I would say is for if you're going to be doing one game, um get footage of each weapon, like of the weapon coming up and the weapon reloading, being put down, and I don't know if there's a melee attack in the game, but get each animation for the weapon and then like save each one of those clips. And then what you can do is create an animation where instead of using this this edge detect technique, you would actually just go in and like create a layer where you would, you know, outline like a few major pieces like the scope and the gun itself, you know, or just do an outline of the gun rather than having it detect all the edges of the weapon. It would definitely take more time, but it would produce it would give you a library of assets that you could then drag in. Like, let's say, oh, they got a kill with the assault rifle. You could then go into a folder and just scroll down to like, you know, weapon animations. I need, you know, assault rifle. I need reload, melee, weapon up and weapon down, right? And I guess weapon shoot. You know, so you need all those animations. And then you'd also want to have like just a weapon running animation for when you're running around. And then what you would do is you'd literally just click and drag the animations to where they need to be. The like outline animations that you've created, and you just line them up with the video footage. And it would take you a long time to make the library, but once you have the library made, uh, it would greatly reduce the time, because then you could just click and drag everything. You'd be able to make clips in literally like a couple hours, and you'd have a whole bunch done. So for here, I'm thinking of like, I want to have this this aiming reticle track in on him. So I'm gonna go here. I'm gonna set let's see, position. I'm gonna track position, rotation, scale, and opacity. So I'm gonna have the scale start off. I'm gonna have the scale start off a little bit bigger, but it's gonna start off at 0% opacity, and then in those few frames, it's gonna go to 100% opacity, and the scale is gonna shrink to like that, like 70%, and the rotation 180 degrees. And then position. So let me see, where do you shoot the guy? It's hard to tell, but it looks like it's a headshot. So I'd say, okay, so I'm going to delete this position keyframe. See, and once these little stopwatches are clicked, why are there folders / projects on the bottom? Oh, these here, these are each pre-composition. So like I've gone down and like this, in this one here, which is this pre-comp, it's the shape layer, which makes everything blue, and then the video file. And then I go like this, I select both, and I went and click pre-compose and made a pre-composition out of it. It's like having folders, you know, to organize everything. It can really help with not having enormous libraries of just crap. So like I'll go through and like for my logo animation, for my stinger, the wing, I made the top part of the wing I made into one pre-composition. The letter D itself animating was its own pre-composition. The inside of the wing was a pre-composition, and then, you know, so I broke it all up into sections and made a pre-comp for each one. And then to save myself on rendering, because my computer couldn't render out 3,800 layers all at the same time, by having them all as pre-compositions, I rendered each pre-composition separately, exported them as a video file, and then just put all the video files stacked on top of each other, just like alpha videos, right? And then rendered that as a finished version. And it meant that if my computer actually could have rendered my logo in one shot, it would have taken hours. And because it was like, I think it was like 1,600 layers and almost 4,000 keyframe animations. Whereas instead it only had to render maybe 20 to 50 layers and a couple hundred keyframe animations. And then all those rendered pieces of rendered footage were very little info for it to stack them all together. So I've got the aiming reticle. So I want the rotation to last until here. So the rotation, I'm gonna have it do 360 degrees. I'm gonna delete this keyframe. What's the other one? Scale. Okay, I'm gonna set the scale to be 50%. No, 40%. Yep, and then delete the previous mark. The opacity will be at 100%. I'll have the opacity set to 100% right as it finishes zoning in on the guy's head. And okay, so now position keyframing. Okay, so I'm gonna bring it up a bit, and then I'll go forward a couple frames. I'll track it to its head, to the guy's head. And then I'm gonna go forward a few more frames. Track it to his head. Oh, it's the famous Hitler scene. Yeah, my girlfriend's next to me, playing Wolfenstein. Okay, so you can see, like, now at this point, like, because there's so much movement there's so much movement happening each frame, I'm actually going through and tracking the reticle pretty much frame by frame. Okay, and for this spot, it definitely doesn't matter nearly as much. Now, let's zoom out a bit. We'll just see how that, oh, and then right as he gets the shot, I'm gonna have it over the next like 4 frames or so, I'm gonna have it expand to 120% and opacity go to 0%. And just keep tracking it to the guy's head each time. Okay, so let's see how that looks. All right, so there's the aiming reticle. And then I'm going to create a text layer. And right there, right when the shot's made, the text layer is going to come in, and I'm just going to do okay, let's pick a font. Now for this, I would use like a nice army stencil font or something that looks, you know, fitting for the game. If I can find like a user created version of the game's actual font, that's what I would use. So in Valorant, I would actually use the Valorant font. For this, I'm going to use the font that I use for my own, for my channel, for my own branding. Which is this one. So headshot. And then I'm going to set the scale to say 120. Okay, so opacity on this 0%, and then next frame it jumps immediately to 100%. Okay, let's see. I need to track position and scale. So on this frame, it's right next to it, and then this frame needs to stay right next to it. And now I don't want the word headshot, like, you know, shaking around all over on the screen. So I'm just gonna, so that's where the headshot pops in. So before the next frame, and then as he walks away, I'm just gonna have headshot come more towards the center of the screen and scale up to about 200%. And over like the last like few frames here. Okay, so I'm gonna go down to opacity, keyframe in the 100% opacity, and then as it approaches, okay, so I'll just drag that a little bit over. As it approaches the end, like where the guy's dead and going off screen, I'm gonna have the opacity then come back down to 0. So okay, so the scale, I want the scale to grow really quickly right at the start. So like from okay, so go to like 160%. And then sometimes this will take a little bit of yeah, I'm not liking how that's looking. Yeah, it's there is a key actually for doing keyframes. I just can't remember what it is because I'm so used to doing everything by mouse. I'm not happy with how the like the word headshot looks. So instead, I'm going to just turn off the stuff here to get rid of its position data. I'm gonna just put it like at the top of the screen here. I'm gonna have it go from so from okay here. Okay, now I'll start over. Scale is, I don't need to do position. I'm just gonna keep it skip frame shortcut command. Oh yeah, no, it's like it's like I forget what it was. I remember on my previous install of it, I had it just set to control. Like I set up a hotkey with control arrow keys, and it made life really simple. But so you can set it up. It's and it's not hard. Okay, so right there, that's the frame before he shoots. So on this frame, 0%. And scale, 0%. All right, here, I'll look it up for you. After Effects. Keyboard frame navigation. Let's see. Okay, it's page up and page down. So that's how you go through the frames. By default, anyways. What was it doing? Right. Okay, so there's the so there's the shot. 100% and scale 0, but in the next, let's see, 1, 2, the next 3 frames, it's going to go to 100%. I'm so kind of confused as to why I can't see it right now. Rotation, scale. Okay, so I'm gonna zoom in real quick here. Okay, so did I move the layer or something? Because I can't find it now. Okay, so opacity, 100%. Scale, 100%. So, I feel like I accidentally moved the layer somewhere. I feel like I must have. Yeah, I somehow crushed the layer into infinity. Okay, so here, okay, keyframed 0. Okay, keyframe 0, and the next keyframe, 100%. And, oh, on the previous keyframe, scale is 0%. Oh, that's what I did. That's what the problem is. Okay, so then scale goes to 100%. Oh, I see. It was 170%. That was why. And then... Okay, so the problem that I've got is that the anchor point is right here. So I need to bring the anchor point up here and then set position to 0, 0. God damn it, that didn't do anything. Okay, I need to offset it manually. Right there. Headshot. Okay, so previous frame, it's not there. And then pops in. Okay, so scale is 0%. And then it's over the course of like the next 3 or 4 frames, it's going to jump to 170% scale and start fading out. So, okay, so in that quick little bit, let's see. Okay, so in that quick little bit, it pops in, and then it over like the next little bit, I'm gonna have it go back up to 0%, go from 170% to 200%. And now I'm gonna take the whole thing and press F9 to easy ease all of the animation. And go to effects. Okay, below. Yeah, I'll actually be uploading all of my streams, like these kind of ones. I'll be uploading to YouTube and stuff. So it just might take me a bit. Yeah, you'll notice the little thing down on the bottom, like where my URLs are displayed. So I'm actually going to be redirecting Deathfly.live instead of having it go to Twitch right now. I'm going to have it redirect to the VOD channel. So all of the live streams will be on my YouTube channel, and that's where that will send you. Okay, so let's see. Glow intensity 1.5, glow threshold 100%, glow radius 50. And set the colors. Okay, so that gives that part, and then copy, paste. Whoops, not what I wanted to do. Copy, paste. And then this one I'm going to set to screen. So there's the headshot text, and I'm going to create a drop shadow and put it on the bottom layer. Distance 0, opacity 100. Let's see, softness 50. So that makes the word headshot pop a little bit more. And I'll even copy the drop shadow, and I'm gonna apply it to the reticle. But set the softness to 100. And opacity to 50. All right, now, to keep with like the icy kind of theme, I don't have any icy stock footage on me, and I always said right now for the purpose of a stream, I don't want to, you know, spend hours in Blender or something rendering out, you know, an ice, you know, a shattering ice simulation or hand animating it. So I'm just gonna look for exploding ice. Okay, instead of on YouTube, just exploding ice animation. Does it say GIF? It's a frost grenade thing. Now, obviously, like, these are content that belong to somebody else, so you'd have to pay for a library if you wanted, like, these ones, but let me think. Ice burst animation. See, I'd love to use something like this, but I don't have any libraries for that right now. That works. I can take this and, like, these are obviously, like, I wouldn't publish anything with this content because it's not mine, but it gives the rough idea. Whoops. Let's see. So you could take something like, okay, I don't want to use that. There we go. Okay, so I'm gonna save this. I'm just going to save it in pictures for now. Saved, and then go to my project folder, and I'm just going to drag this in. Okay, so right there. Okay, so I'll have to mask this really roughly. And then go down here, go to masks. Oh. And set the mask feather to 15 pixels. And then, so now I'm going to track the mask along with this. So like that. Oh shit. I just realized I didn't have a mask path. I didn't have paths set to animate. Okay, so mask path, click animate. Or keyframe, more accurately. And then do this part over again. Okay, so I'm gonna set this to none right now, just to make my life a little bit easier with the like lining up the masks. Okay, so there's that. And then go forward like another 2 frames or so. You've been having an easy enough time following along though? Like, does most of what I'm doing, does it make sense to you? Okay, cool. So at least I'm explaining it decently well then. Okay, so almost got this all masked out. Okay, so there's my mask. And then right here, it starts to collapse in. So from here to the like the end of that clip, I'm gonna have the mask expansion like shrink all the way back down. Yeah, I'm really glad that it helps you out. Okay, so that gives us our little snowy burst effect. Now I'm going to make this the headshot effect, since there isn't really much of any kind of effect happening on him. Okay, so position, scale, opacity. So here it's going to be headshot, and then I'm just going to track this to his head. Actually, where does the shot happen? Right there. Okay, so we want to keep it like in the air roughly, so that it feels like, you know, like his head blowing up or something. Okay, and now I'm going to take all that. I'm going to smooth it. Actually, wait, no. Right, it's... I always forget. Yeah, you don't want to smooth when you're doing like single frame or like animating like only every couple frames. But now this, I'm going to set it to soft light. No, not soft light. Let's see. How about screen? Screen leaves like ghosting behind, so vivid light seems to do pretty good. Oh, and right there I'm gonna have the scale, which I haven't animated at all yet, grow over time from here from 100 to like 150%. And then to like 160%. Or 165. And then between here, opacity is at 100. And between the very end, opacity drops to 0. Good, so let's see how that looks. Yeah, so I'm actually gonna... See, I would personally also add a bit of a smoke effect that lingers just a little bit longer, but that's just me. What do you think? Yeah, this kind of is pretty much the rundown of what I would say would work. You know, you get a bunch of little graphics like this, and like there's packages that you can get. Thanks. I really appreciate the compliment. What was it saying? Yes, like there's packages of these kinds of animations that you can get, and they're not terribly expensive. I'm not that great at them, so generally I can do them, but I take forever to do them. I have to redo them like 5 or 6 times. So now I'm gonna take this whole clip here. So like say right here. Oh, come on. Yeah, the little things definitely add a tremendous amount to something like this. Okay, so I'm gonna take this whole thing. I'm just gonna pre-compose it just to make things easy. And then I'm gonna open up that comp. And I'm going, oh no, where is it? Okay, so I'm gonna trim the composition right here, Alt bracket. And I'm gonna, let's see, right. Okay. Time. Enable time remapping. Okay, so it'll play at full speed, and then from here, first shot, put a keyframe, so it's playing at 100%. And put another keyframe. I think that's making it slow-mo. I'll have the steam run be back with the extra. Oh, okay. So, okay, so now right here where it starts to track in on his head, I'm gonna, okay, I'll get rid of the next keyframe. I'm gonna have it slow down. Put a keyframe there. And then the headshot portion of it. Actually, no, I put that too soon. Where it is it? Let's see, right there. Okay, so put a keyframe. Drag it out. And then from the headshot to right where the burst dissipates, put another keyframe. Stretch that out to like there. And then okay, so that definitely slows it down too much. Maybe I'm using the wrong setting. Enable time remapping. Okay, no, I was right. So, okay, so from here to where he locks on, and I want to make that last to about here. And then the headshot portion, it's only a few frames. I want to make that last to about here. Now I'll take all three, blend them together. Oh, wait. And set motion blur and layer. Where's layer? Frame blending. Pixel motion. Yeah, so it doesn't work very well with the time remapping because of the fact that there's just not enough frames here, so. But that, I think we could be satisfied with that. And actually, what I'll do is I'm going to go into the footage here and right here, I'm going to go to saturation. And then keyframe it. So right here from this keyframe, and then okay, so actually move this one back a bit, and then jump forward one frame and take all the saturation out. Pump the lightness up. Whoops. Let's see. Hue and saturation. What about just contrast? Contrast luminance. Curves. Okay, auto contrast. Where's... okay, curves. So yeah, so that brought a lot of the color back to the image as well. So right there. So okay, so curves, they're normal. And then right here, the curves are gonna spike. And then as it comes down, I'm gonna copy the previous keyframe and paste it in. And let the saturation return to normal. There we go. I actually need to stretch that out just a little bit more. Okay, so I'm going to take these two and stretch it out all the way to here. Okay, I feel like this whole clip should just be slowed down just a touch. It's just a bit too fast, so... so I'm going to take this whole piece, I'm going to go to time, I'm going to time stretch, I'm going to set it to 115%. And blending pixel motion. Ow. Funny. The audio's out of sync now, but it doesn't matter. feel like that little touch of having it go black and white for a moment right as the headshot happens. Okay, curves. I'm gonna... Oops. God, it all goes by so fast that it's really hard to see any of it. Okay, so I'll export this as a test, as just a example clip. Put it in QuickTime for .mov. Highlight, example. Render. And I'm gonna go make myself a tea or a coffee. Okay, so my other webcam, or my room cam, seems to have stopped working. That's always great fun. But I think I'll pretty much call it there for the night. My girlfriend just ordered us dinner. And I've got a nice hot tea. So yeah, I just blanked out. So yeah, if you guys are watching this, if you guys watch this live on Twitch, thanks for dropping in and asking questions and just being part of the stream. And if you're watching this on YouTube after I'd uploaded, oh, hey Scooter. Okay, well, I guess I'll extend the stream by a bit then. Here, let me show you what the finished version looks like. I'm talking to stream. So here's the finished version. I added an effect in here where when it goes to what do you call it? Like right as the headshot happens, right there, I have the curves set to make it go black and white. Or not black and white, but like really high. Or actually, yeah, black and white and like really high contrast. So here's how this looks. Oh, actually, why am I doing it this way? Oh, wait, hold on. Okay, so let me find it. Yeah, so here's what I was saying. I have it set to go black and white right when the headshot happens. And like, so it goes like all the contrast, you know, super high contrast and no color except for the blue. And then it comes back over time. So, so here's what the finished version looks like at full speed. Let's see. Oh boy, that's really... Man, it doesn't play it very well in there, does it? So I'm just gonna let it render. This is one of those things where it's definitely beneficial to have the footage recorded at 60 FPS, because then I can slow it down by half, and if you're posting in 30 FPS, you can slow it down by half and it'll still look the same speed, right? Like it won't, you'll still get, you know, 1 frame per frame, right? Without it, like, you know, you can slow it down by half without losing video quality. Or motion quality, I should say. It'll get there. Eventually. So, there you go. There's a finished clip. And I made my tea too strong. Anyways, yeah. Okay. Well, we got food on the way, and I'm going to nope, wrong cam. This one. Yeah, so the best thing you can do is like make a bunch of templates. Like make a bunch of little assets that you can just drop in whenever you need to. Like the reticle thing zooming in, headshot, or like create a one that gives like the GTA wasted effect, right? And you just save this big library of pre-made little animation bits, and then have a whole library of animations for like different weapons doing different animations. It'll take you months to build that library, don't get me wrong. But if you build a library like that, then you can create really awesome like edits like this super quick, because everything is just saved as a preset. You just drag and drop it all on top. I mean, for all the updates, if you want to see like new content and stuff that I'm posting, you can just find it on the website. Yeah, I'll be right back. We got food that's coming, so I gotta grab it from the door.